call a meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the introduction of those Feather Newport ambulances here, Mike Parody and Charlie Prono. Yeah. So, the next item up is approval of the minutes of 12/7. Need a motion to.
I make the motion to approve the minutes of 12/7.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Is there any errors, admissions?
I didn't see any this time.
All right. All those in favor of the minutes as printed signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Carries. Next item up is appearances by local citizens and visitors. So you guys want to go first?
All right.
Okay. You stay there, or you come join us at the table if you want, or what?
I got some stuff for you so you can follow along.
All right.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? I have some things I am going to speak on about the ambulance. It might be better that I speak to them. I speak on them before they come on so they can respond, or it might turn out a little weird, but it's up to you. It's up to you. I think in best interest of the meeting, if I went first, because I'm going to address, that was the whole thing. From the last time we had some questions, and I came to the conclusion nobody knows what the hell's going on with this ambulance contract. And so I did a bunch of research, and I got some things I'm going to say.
You may hear answers to your questions prior to.
No, they may want to address them because there's some things there. It's up to you because they're going to wind up.
I understand, and
Well,
this
we're not sure what they're going to give us yet.
right,
Right,
and
We know
this
that. We
this
think that-
section of the agenda is for information back and forth. We're not going to get into debate, discussions, and conclusions.
Well, there is one new. I'll tell you this up front. There is one new. We do have a conflict of interest law.
Yeah.
And
July
This-
1st, 2019.
that's when you're due to come up with your
Right.
document. The law is in effect June 17th. It is now in effect, and complaints are being taken. They're
That's-
enforcing it.
That's fine, they can do that.
I know, but what I'm saying is, this may very well be a conflict of interest in which you would be prohibited to vote on this, the select board.
Whatever.
Okay.
Gentlemen,
Okay, so, I guess to start with, are they up to snuff on any of the meetings that have transpired?
I have
Or,
the meetings that I set in with Coventry,
Yep.
the city of Newport,
Yep.
and you.
Yep.
I did bring them up to,
Okay.
I told them that we were discussing different things.
so I didn't know how much.
And then the last meeting, I was not there.
Yep.
And the town of Derby at that point had elected not to participate. And that you and the city of Newport were working on your budget together, and I felt that was not in my responsibility. So there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so these, I'm assuming you guys, these guys never saw the original request that we came with.
No.
Which was quite a bit more. We had several meetings with the towns. You said they went through our budget, fine tooth and comb. We had some situations this year that amounted to about a $40,000 issue for us that we hadn't expected, and we were therefore going back in, originally asking for that additional amount, plus thinking that it was going to happen continuously. We were looking for about an $80,000 increase for the three towns combined. But not anybody was real happy with that. So, but that's what we wanted. We said that's what we'd like to do. We wanted to give our people some raises because they're not making enough money. We had some equipment that we had to buy, and so that's kind of where we started. After several meetings, we realized that was probably too big an increase. I don't have the exact figure that we would have than going to you guys for, but it was substantial. I mean, it was
Mhm.
about an 80% increase over
Mhm.
the last year. So this, what we gave you now was we redid our budget. This shows you 2017 budget, the actual, and then our 2018 budget. This is after the meetings. We came back with a much lower figure
Mhm.
to bring to the voters, hoping that would be approved. So far, the city and Coventry has approved it. That figure, if you go on the very last page and look at Newport Town, last year, the last 2 years, you guys, we level funded it, last two, it's 36,551.
Mhm.
And this year, we were gonna be asking for 45,922, which is about a $9,000 increase.
Mhm.
Which I think is about 25.8% or something, if you're looking at it, instead of 80. I think we can come to you. Do you have the figure that we were, I guess it's mute now.
It's moot now. Anyway.
Yes, it was,
Those are just starting figures. That's the way I look at
Right.
it. Is that you have a starting point and you work from there.
So that's where we're at. Our request this year would be for 45,922. We do have some things in the works where we're hoping that if they work out, that next year we would come without an increase and hopefully maybe a reduction. The hospital is going to be part of that, as you had, Steve had requested at the meeting that we get them involved, and they are going to be. That's going to be a series of meetings, and none of that will transpire for this year, this fiscal year. We're looking at a lot of things. Everybody is having trouble. We're the only full-time squad around. Full-time meaning we have people at the facility ready to roll 24/7. The surrounding areas, we all do mutual aid. So when one of the other squads is out on a call, they get, they have their one crew on, and then if they have a second one, Newport's the one that usually gets called because they're the ones that have the staff and have everybody around.
So can you still maintain that going forward?
Yeah, we've kind of worked things out. So
A 24/7 coverage.
yes, with this figure, we can.
I mean,
Anything.
are there times that both crews are out? Yes.
No, well, I
No,
understand.
that's not what
No,
he
the
says.
question is
In this budget.
In this budget, yeah.
no, moving forward in the future,
Yes.
keeping a 24/7 ambulance service where everybody else around, around you is doing
On call.
on-call type
What
thing.
we're working on is correcting that situation.
Oh,
That's part of it.
because you're not comparing
Because
apples to apples.
You're not comparing apples to apples, and oftentimes they don't have a crew, and then therefore they are not available for us for mutual aid, so it's a one-way deal.
Yeah.
In other words, we're available for them for mutual aid because they don't have a crew on. Sometimes they expect us to be their primary, but they don't have anybody there. So if we've got both our crews out, they don't have anybody to be our mutual aid. So as a result of that, we've been having people on call. That's part of the reason our budget got blown up a little bit. But and the reason for that, a lot of it is they're just having trouble finding people.
Nobody wants to volunteer anymore.
It's
No.
also not fair for Newport Center, Newport City, and Coventry to subsidize their surrounding towns. So what we've done, one of the initial things we did is we sent letters to those towns, basically telling them, this is the situation. And if we're going to be a primary call, not mutual aid, we'll always do mutual aid. But if you don't have a squad scheduled and you get a call, that is primary. That is not mutual aid. And we are going to bill you at $800 per call, the towns individually.
Okay.
So that makes up for some of the loss that we have for overtime and that kind of stuff. As a result of that, I think we're going to get some of those towns and other services probably in a big joint talk about what's going on with ambulance services and try to work things out.
I
Around.
mean, if you've read the papers, we've been talking regionalizing,
Yeah.
and that's the way to go.
So that's kind of what we're looking forward to this year. Some of the problem was overtime that because we were picking up for squads that didn't have that, but we always build in a little leeway for that. We had a provider tax that was laid on us by the state of Vermont. It's kind of a cost shifting. And a provider tax is basically you take our income and they taxed us at 3%. We have to send it back to them. Now, their promise at the time was that we would see that coming back in funds. Of course, you know,
Plus.
that never happened.
We were notified also by the state of Vermont that we need to get a permit, a yearly permit of $2,600 so that we can work on our roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so that was a but so you know what that's
We need a
just-
marijuana law.
Yeah, it's just cost shifting.
We got some revenue.
You know, so they you know, and I the initial thing that the meetings that we had is, you mean they actually taxed you as a nonprofit? I said, yeah, wow. Yeah, they actually did. Well, how can they do that? I said, well, because they're the state of Vermont, they can do anything they want. So basically, they cost shifted that. The other thing that nailed us a little bit is we bought 2 new ambulances. Well, one for this division. We have another division in the other. And the federal government guidelines were that any ambulance that was built after July 2016 had to have a different sort of locking mechanism and stretcher in it, meaning that our $20,000 stretchers were obsolete because they wouldn't lock into it. And the locking and mechanism system combined on a new ambulance was $40,000. So that's the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. And when we set our budget up, those are the 2 big things we didn't anticipate, which was about $60,000. And as a result, we went backwards about. We saw some of the writing on the wall and tried to make adjustments through the years. But, you know, it's hard for a nonprofit that doesn't build in a profit or retained earnings or that kind of stuff to absorb $60,000. And that's where we ended up where we are. Good news going forward is that I think we're probably going to be able to rectify this system. And if we can rectify it well enough, I would hope that next year I'd love to see us come back and say, guess what? We're going to ask you for less. So that remains to be seen. It's not a promise, but it's something we're going to work really hard at.
Great.
So, and I know you guys have it at your town meeting, and figured we should come here and answer any questions that you might have.
Your contract's staying the same,
Mhm.
just like it was,
The wording,
the wording.
yes.
Okay, so I don't have to get technical like we did last year.
No, we kept the wording just as you.
Okay.
No, we're
agreed to.
not looking to change anything. We're
Okay.
just looking to
Which
change
is
the dollar.
the only thing changing is the year
Yep,
and the amount.
okay, perfect.
Yep.
So our dates and everything.
Dates
Your
are,
dates
Stay
of
the same.
signing and
Yep.
everything
Because
are
we put that
exactly
in our
the same.
general fund budget.
What?
We put that in our general fund budget going forward.
If it's passed the town meeting, yes.
If
Yeah.
it's past the town.
If they contract with us.
We have a line item on town meeting for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the general fund. We didn't put it in a separate warning article.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
yeah, I
We
think, yeah, I
Yes,
think
we did.
They didn't put the
And
amount.
the deal was
they put the
that we
contract.
signed the contract after your town meeting.
Correct.
Which was a little different with
Yeah.
Newport and Coventry.
Yeah.
We have a contract, they've already signed it.
Correct.
You guys didn't want to do that, and, you know.
Well, we're spending money we don't have.
And we've always paid you prior to tax money coming in. There's been no
Yep.
problem.
So it's not an issue. It's not an issue for us.
I didn't think so.
If the town doesn't support it, and then you come back to us, then it may be an issue. But right at this point, it's
Yeah.
not. So we're hoping the town.
We have a
supports
budget meeting that we're, January
11th.
the 11th, not 9/11, 1/11. Right. So we will be putting all these figures in there and finalizing it to go to the voters. And if something different comes up, we will let you know.
Are you sending anybody to town meeting?
I'll be there.
You'll be there, okay.
I was there last
asking.
year.
Yeah, no,
I've always been there.
I was asking,
No,
just to make sure, in case any
That
questions
is
come up.
one of the
I
downfalls.
always answer Bruce and Ernest's questions to the best of my
Communities.
ability.
that
Yeah,
has
yeah.
funding for
Well,
ambulance services is they have no one there to speak if something comes up.
Mhm.
And people like that. So,
We go to all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
I will tell you, the next year, probably not me.
you passing the torch?
Somebody will be there though.
Somebody will be there.
Sure.
The good thing is your town meeting's in the day, right?
No,
Yeah.
night.
It's at night.
Yeah.
Newport's the night before, basically, and Coventry's during the day, so
Yeah.
you can make the three of them.
We're all
If they
good.
were
yeah.
all, if they were all at the same night,
Yeah,
then
even though
we'd be
we're
spreading it out.
we're in the budget and the other two, I go to those meetings too.
We may
I
have
don't
to,
go to the other.
your town rep may have to represent us.
And that's fine. Just tell her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Good. I don't have anything else. You guys?
Nope, good.
You've got the figures?
If you'd like, Barry's going to be up next here, and he may have a question for you. So
Okay,
if you'd
that's
like
fine.
to hang around. And...
Yep.
Okay. Barry.
Yeah, the thing did you already vote to put them on the warning?
No.
Put
They
him on.
gave us a figure.
Okay, and when will that happen, if it happens?
We have a meeting on January 11th when we start putting things together for the warning.
And when do they show up and you vote on it? That's what I'm curious about.
When,
Town meeting day.
right,
Don't you have to vote to
We
put them
don't
on,
vote on it.
vote to put them on the warning?
we
We
as a,
put the stuff on the warning, but the people at the town meeting will decide what
I know,
happens.
but I thought the procedure was you have to get it, you have to vote, like last year,
it's our responsibility to put the agenda together.
I
for
understand
town
that, I understand that, but last year, you came here and it was all those in favor of accepting his contract, aye.
meeting.
No, no,
No.
And that's what
That
Steve
was-
just talked about with him. The wording was put in there
2 years.
if, 2 years ago, if the people at town meeting voted in, then yes, otherwise, no.
You guys, I can explain that a little bit. You guys accepted the wording of the contract,
We accepted the
not the,
wording.
not the final figure.
Not the
Exactly.
contract.
Because that was the first time we were
Alright.
drafting a
Something
contract.
else, something there, I'll check that out, but anyway, let me go back to, my thing is, that kind of the people are not involved in this. They come and they're asking you and pitching money, and like the people, they don't know what's going on. Last Ernest doesn't know. I'm not sure. So I did some research, and I got to. I would like to state some facts. Like last year at the town meeting, somebody thought that if you didn't vote them on their contract, they would get no ambulance service. So let's straighten that out first. The policy of, Vermont state law guarantees you're going to get an ambulance if you're in an emergency condition, whether you vote his contract in or not. If we decide we're not going to use them and you get a heart attack or some emergency, you call 911, an ambulance will show up. We got to make that clear because some people don't realize
Which
that.
ambulance will show up?
Huh?
Which one will show
A
up?
first responder. The Emergency Medical Services of Vermont runs the whole thing. He knows all about that, I'm sure. I don't want to get into the details of
Well,
that.
no,
but
are they designating an ambulance for this area?
No, they pick from a pool. There's 180.
Right.
180.
Do we have to wait for Burlington?
Oh, no. Wait a minute. You don't. Well, you may have to wait for a first responder anyway if he's busy. Same thing.
Mhm.
You will get a first responder. So you're not. The people don't have. I don't want the people to think they have to vote this contract to get ambulance service.
This discussion that we're having and what you're saying needs to occur at town meeting. That's where the people vote the figure in, not here.
Okay, let's move on to a conflict.
Well,
of
can I
interest.
add some of
You
his
can.
facts are a little distorted, so can I?
You can, if you'd like to respond. Yes.
It is required, the town is required to name who their ambulance service is. We, at Newport Ambulance Service, if you decide you want to name Newport Ambulance Service, we are giving you our price.
I understand.
If
and we understand.
That's what he doesn't seem to think. So Newport Ambulance Service is not required to show up if you vote our contract. Yeah.
Now,
or a dollar amount.
if we
So
voted
you
down.
would, and then at that point, you would have to make a determination as a select board who your ambulance service is. And that's who would respond. And if it's, Missisquoi or Johnson, that's who it is.
So every community in the state of Vermont is required to name
Yes.
their ambulance service.
911
Yeah,
perfect.
for 911.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect, exactly. So who's gonna respond?
Right.
It can be, Steve Barrett's gonna respond.
You could, in fact, say for ambulance, call Rick's house and he'll
Yeah,
have to.
But I mean, but you do have to put the name in. So I just wanted to clear that up. That the difference is what quality you get, and
Well, we
what
know
kind
that.
of response
Yeah,
time you get. You guys are aware of that.
We know that.
But this little thing was a little different.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would like to speak a little on this. I mean, I don't like to, I know it can be said at the town meeting that I have something to say, and, it is an open meeting. I can say, what I want. I would just like to say what I don't like about this contract and a recommendation that you might change, if you don't mind. First of all, our taxes get raised when you go through this 40,000. I don't know, $40, $50 a year for the whole town. Everybody pays it. But when you come and service us, right, and there's not enough money, and I am on Medicaid, so you're going to send me a bill for 20% that doesn't be paid, right?
If you're on Medicaid, I'm not gonna-
Medicare, 20%.
If you're in your deductible mode, yes, we may send you.
Okay,
You're
so,
not in
okay,
your
and what
deductible.
about,
We do not bill over and above what Medicare pays.
okay,
Or
so if it's a 20% deduction, you're going to pay Medicare the 80% and I'm done, right? You're going to send me,
If Medicare pays us $300 for an ambulance call, that's what we're gonna receive. We can't bill you the
Except for
$700.
deductible.
they can't bill, you're not going to bill us the balance or what Medicaid didn't pay. If you have a $500 charge, you get
Unless
three.
it's your deductible. Medicare,
Yeah, Medicare.
you have a deductible.
So
if you
you're
haven't
going to
met
bill
your-
us for that Medicare.
If you haven't met your deductible yet,
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I don't like. We're paying higher taxes, then we got to pay you again when we do the ambulance. I'm going to get sent a bill. Town of Ludlow has an ambulance service, and they accept whatever Medicare sends them and doesn't bill. They give back to the people. This is take from we have to pay our taxes. We pay you once, then we pay you twice if you don't have a full coverage, which this is a poor town. I bet half the town doesn't have it.
Very.
So you're making double. I don't like that deal. I recommend you pay it. The town should pay nothing. If you're making $40,000, you should pay everything. Nobody should be billed
Barry.
like Ludlow does.
Barry, this discussion needs to either happen at town meeting.
It's happening here.
It
It's
should
happening
happen
here.
at
And it's
town
important.
meeting,
No,
or you need to set up an appointment with them.
No.
discuss it with them.
This is you people put it on there.
This has nothing to do with what we're doing tonight. There's nothing
Okay,
to do
well, I'll
with
tell you
what
what
we're
does.
doing tonight.
What does? I didn't want to get into a big argument.
Because
here.
if you'd have done this prior to this, then they could have come in either with a different budget or something else. But they just came to give us what they're requesting.
Okay,
We're going
well-
to ask the town people. That's it.
Well, and
That
again-
discussion should not be happening here.
I will have this. I'll tell you, I will have this discussion with the people on media, and I'm going to hit it high.
We need to move on. I'm sorry, but we need
All
to
right.
move
Well,
on.
this may be a conflict of interest. I'm going to make a complaint on it, unless you want to hear that too.
You can do whatever you want. It's a free country.
Okay. You don't want to discuss it?
Discuss what?
A conflict of interest. This is absolutely a conflict of interest.
Go for it. If you
Okay,
have something
well, no,
to
no, I am
present to
gonna-
us
Huh?
that is a conflict of interest, please do.
Okay. Right now.
Right now.
Okay. Great. Okay. I mean no harm for nobody, but okay. The bill was passed in June of this year by the Secretary of State. He spent 4 years getting conflict of interest bill and everything. And now, as of June, and I'm going to say this, I'm not going to make any accusations. Okay, so we have conflict of interest prohibition, what you can't do. Okay, and there's a long list, and there's a list of things that you have to do by 2019. You have to define conflict of interest, a list of elected appointed officials covered by such, a method to determine, and actions that will take. And you have to do that by 2019, and it's got to be done. However, the law states under the section, conflict of interest means a direct personnel or pecuniary interest of a public official or the official's spouse, household member, business associate, employer, or employee in the outcome of a cause, proceeding, application, or any other matter pending before the agency or public body in which the official holds office. So if any of those conditions, he has any people in his office that are close to the select board members, and any relatives, spouses, anything like that, and he's coming here, and this would be a conflict of interest, and technically, and what mostly happens in cases like this, if they're argued, the vote will get rescinded. So I mean, there is I'm not going to name any names. I don't know who his employees are, but that's it. I mean, you can't be messing around with getting things on warnings if you have people in common. It's conflict of interest. You take it, call your VLCT or whatever you want. As you know, I talk all the time with the Secretary of State. They keep me up on all the laws and clean them up, and this one's a big one. They've been sending me stuff all over. And James Condos, he spent 4.5 years doing this. He's not going to be sympathetic with any complaints, I'm sure. But I'm just telling you that. I mean, I'm disturbed that we can't discuss the details of this. It's just always you and the contractors, and the people are out in the ozone somewhere. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is here. I don't like that. I'm going to try to change it. And that's the end of that. One more small thing. I did finish. Take 1 minute if you wish. I finished the project I told you I was doing. Let me see. I'll just quickly show it to you. You might be interested about it. There's 20 videos here. This is one of my better works, I got to tell you. And they're all...
Are you done with these gentlemen?
Yeah, I'm done. And they're all here. Right?
I guess if you guys, you're welcome to stay, but if you want to go,
It's an open meeting, you're welcome to stay.
Yeah.
But if you want to leave, you can. Thank you for
Sure,
coming.
Thank you for
understand
coming.
with the weather outside.
We'll be in touch.
Weather outside is frightful.
Frightful.
Have a good trip.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. So anyway, I got this.
Have a good trip, I'll be in touch.
Okay, thanks.
I have this. And it's got indexed. You are able to now get all these open meeting laws with 3-minute videos of James Condos explaining what's going down in his own words and answering questions about it. And it's really, and you go like this here.
So, get started. Why are we here? We're here because of democracy, accountability, and openness. The public has a right to know. Open meeting and public records laws protect our direct access and actually our access to those decisions that affect us. Understanding these laws
It's only about
makes us
3
better
minutes.
citizens.
You don't want to make you listen to one.
Both
No, that's
depending
fine.
either side of the table.
But thank you.
Whether you're
We
a
can-
member of a board
Okay,
or
well, let me
understand.
explain it a little more. Here's the index, so you can go like this here, and to
So,
choose whichever
who's the boss?
thing
The
interests
ultimate
you.
boss is the public.
Say,
The Vermont Constitution says, Chapter 1, Article 6,
it's down there.
that all
I'm gonna
power
shut
being
this off
originally
first, I
inherent
guess.
in and
Shut that
consequently
one off.
derived from the people, therefore all officers of government, whether
So go up here, you go to your index, and pick one of these things, agendas maybe or something. Get on here, agendas, you press that.
agendas. This was added 2 years ago.
2014.
And he shows you little
43
updates on the laws and case
So,
studies, and I learned a lot. You know, I mean, even though I thought I already knew a lot, and it's a nice reference. Bingo, you can.
Now there's a specific specific time
You
limit.
done? You hit done listening?
For a
I'm
regular
done.
meeting,
Okay.
it's 48
We have a
hours.
business
gotta
meeting.
move on.
For a special meeting, it's 24
Well, this is, you don't
hours.
think this is important, huh?
No,
If
I
the
believe
town
it is
maintains
important.
Well,
a
I only
website,
took a minute of your
designates a
time.
website as their official
I'm
website,
not
then
denying
it must
that
be
it's not
posted
important.
on
Okay, let
that
me get it out of
website.
here.
You got
It
20
also
of
must
those
be
at 3 minutes
posted in
each.
or near
That's,
the town clerk's
No, I
60
just want,
minutes.
no, I didn't want to, I just wanted to illustrate, you know, if some of the
Always
stuff,
tell people, make sure
Right,
when you
you
pick
can
your
go to the
two other
website,
public
you
places,
can look
that
at
they're
that.
the same
If you
public
have any
places
questions
each
pertaining
time.
to any
You don't
parts
wanna
of the
change it.
conflict
Well, the
of
thing
interest.
is about this,
Posting.
I'd like to add is,
And anybody that
Over
has
the years,
asked,
we've contacted the
it should be
Secretary
made
of State
available
many times
prior
over.
to the
yeah,
meeting.
sure, but you know, there's a lot of new stuff here that you people aren't up on, I'm
Is
sure.
there anything else? Yes.
You know, for instance, the Public Records Act, I think Denise could do a refresher on that, the denial, the protocol for denial and this and that, and it works just as well on a phone, just as well.
Hooray.
Okay,
All right, yeah, good enough.
Anything else?
No, I just, I will, I'm gonna publish all of this stuff, and if you wanna overlook the possibility that, the conflict of interest, you may, but,
Policy is not in place yet.
it is in place.
No,
It is-
no, we're not gonna get in a debate. It's 6 o'clock, we need to move on.
Yeah.
I'll get you documentation from the Secretary of State, verifying that, and I've talked, they're looking for complaints. They are accepting complaints. It is the law. The only thing that you have to do, I know you don't believe me, is you have to get your documents together by the 19th. The conflict of interest laws they are considered, they are law. It was signed and done. Done deal. It's just
Okay.
now, the next stage
Okay.
is you have to.
perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
We understand it.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. We're behind 5 minutes here. Road Commissioners report. Fred,
We got some people here that want to come up.
okay? Oscar, you're on.
Who
If you want to come join us up here,
Doesn't matter.
or you feel comfortable back
I
here?
feel comfortable.
Perfect.
Okay, the first little snowstorm we had, never had this problem before. Town went down, they wiped out all our lawns, most of us on that side. I don't know why. So I went over one day to ask Fred what happened, what's going on. And Fred tried to explain it to me. He said the wings are too long, the lawns are too high. And I didn't care for Mike's response. He came out and he said, I'm the one that did it, and I don't care how much of your lawn I tear up.
He didn't do it.
He didn't do it? Well, he came out and said that.
He don't go there.
All right, and he said, and I tear down mailboxes too, and he said, you're just nothing but a bunch of whiners.
That I did not say.
You did too, Mike. I should
Oscar?
have taped you. You said it, and you was three of us right there.
Oscar,
You said it. Don't deny it.
you came into the garage very loud, very upset.
Well, you'd be
He
upset
offered
too.
you an apology. He offered you an apology, said, I'm sorry, Oscar. We've discussed it. We've tried not to let it happen again. And that is what
He
he
didn't
said.
say that. He
He
said the
did.
wings were too long and they got new wings. That's a lie.
We got into it.
I'm not trying to
It
lie,
got going
Oscar.
deeper. It got-
You were very loud. You
I
can
don't
point at me
care.
all you want.
Next time I'll put you on tape.
Go ahead, Oscar.
You want to be a road commissioner, but you don't understand one thing. A road commissioner don't just take care of the road. You have to work with the people. And you don't have an attitude to work with the people.
Oscar, I never am rude to anybody until they are rude to me. You were
I
very
wasn't
rude
to you. You came out. I was talking
because
about-
you were calling us.
Let's not get into it.
You were
Yeah, I don't-
saying we had no common sense.
That's
I
right.
asked Denise today what that means to her. She said that means you're dumb. That's an insult. And you were not saying it very politely. You were being very loud.
Well, after you said you didn't care if you tore on my lawn, I said you didn't have any common sense.
I did not say that.
You
Oscar.
did say that.
You
Gentlemen, eye contact with me, all right? Because I'm not going to sit here and two people fighting it back and forth. Your
Okay.
point's taken, your lawn got chewed up.
All right.
Okay, was it within the 25-foot rule?
Yeah.
It was. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
you have a right of way, right, Steve, to
Right.
use our 25.
Right, that's
you
what
don't
I'm
have a
getting.
right to destroy our lawn.
Like I said, it weren't intentional.
No, Oscar,
I know it weren't.
accidents happen,
I
mistakes.
know.
We have from the center of the road out 25 feet, it's a right of way. If we were on the middle of your lawn outside of that 25 feet, we got a problem.
Yes.
Okay, so come springtime, we will evaluate the situation and what happened and what we gotta do to take care of it.
That's all I asked.
Okay,
And Fred was answering it very plain, but he didn't have to come out and get sarcastic. Fred was doing a good job answering.
I don't know.
I
what
was
to-
trying.
Yes, you were, Fred. I
I
got to hand
don't
you
know
that you
what
always
took
had.
I've been
place.
there 30 odd years and we never had no
That's right.
problem
Like,
and
you
I
got something to
didn't
learn
want
about
any
that.
problems. When I get out of here, I don't want
That's our-
people mad at me.
Okay. As long as you guys said you'd take care of it.
No, I didn't say we'd take care of it. I said we would evaluate.
Okay, you
Okay,
evaluate.
I gotta
That's all
look
I
this-
asked.
Right now, I can't see
No,
what's
no.
going. Okay,
No.
The bad thing is, Oscar, we didn't get just yours, we got it all the way down.
I know you did.
And I don't understand it, but, you
I
know,
know.
we ground that street down, that was probably part of it, you know, the grass is different, whatever, whatnot, you know, and I don't know.
I understand.
I know stuff happens. You guys do a good job. I am not knocking it. It's just
So, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
all right.
Perfect.
Very good.
We're
I
all
don't
in
want
this
no hard
together,
feelings. I just
and
want to
we
be.
don't need to fight with one another.
No, I don't want to keep fighting,
Right.
No,
I
It's-
really don't,
Life's too short.
that's right.
Okay. So
I agree.
but we all gotta stand up for our rights,
I understand.
But-
I understand,
and I try to balance it out, I really.
and sometimes when people are hot and heavy, they say things are occurring that they don't realize.
This
they're
is very
saying.
true.
Right. So, okay, fine. You guys okay with one another?
Yes, I'm okay with it.
Okay, I'm okay with everything. So when springtime comes, we'll look at it.
All I asked is a problem, and I talked to them, but they just
And
didn't
in the
give me an answer.
And all I ask is somebody wants to talk, they don't get loud and basically are yelling at us.
that's right. And they shouldn't.
That's how I see it.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't respond well to somebody being very loud and insulting.
Yeah, I don't either. I have people writing notes to me.
And he came to my
Things are going on.
defense also, you know, I was really loud and he didn't like it and I gotta say that, Oscar, you know,
You can get loud too if you went outside your lawn and talk in the front. So I'm sure
Okay.
they did yours.
Let's move on.
Okay.
No, Glenn's got.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
but
Well, it's along the same lines. I get the pictures. It was the first nor'easter we had of all the 3 inches of snow. And about the day after the wing was put on and the green grass was still coming up through it.
well, it rained there and it was soft.
But Fred, we had a discussion in the spring, remember? You asked me, you said, Glenn, you got the farm for sale? I said, yeah. You said, well, the people that buy that probably won't remove the rocks off the lot.
That's right.
Remember? I said, well, the rocks were put there for a reason. And you said, yeah, but if I removed them, you'd be more careful.
Yeah, but you didn't remove them.
I did remove them.
All that stone wall right in front of that tree.
That stone wall, we agreed I could have it.
Years ago, before we had wing.
Yeah, we agreed
And
that could
we
be
talked
there.
about that also, you know, and
Yeah.
I just like came out there,
The ones, the stones on the lawn that I told you I would take off,
You
I
did.
took off.
you did.
And
But where did
that's where them stones were.
Where did I get that grass?
Well, on my lawn.
But there you go again, I'm sorry, I don't do things intentional.
You can see where the road stops and the dirt starts.
Yeah, you can see where I cut the edge.
Yeah,
And that is also in the town right away.
yeah, I know, it's a right
and
way.
it would have been nice if everything had been frozen
Yeah,
up
yeah.
prior to going out. It
But
wasn't.
why would you use a wing on the first 3 inches of snow that falls? Why would you have to use a wing? Have you gotta push the sod back to push the snow back with 3 inches?
Well, we like to freeze it up, you know, when it's gonna get cold, we like to get it, so.
The ground doesn't freeze well with snow on top of it.
And when that wing starts hopping, boom, 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 and it makes a hell of a mess, a lot worse than that. But come right with me, Glenn, I can show you. I really will.
And we're not denying that our shoulders on the road are high.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places.
A lot of
that-
places, you're all gonna be careful.
Well, in that section of roadway, how wide is the travel lane?
Well,
it-
I'm taking the whole road to get by.
It's what, 12 feet, 14 feet? I'm guessing. It's not a wide section of road.
And I have no problem with
It's
that. The
very
only problem
narrow.
I have, Glenn, is maybe meeting a car on that hill.
Fred, there ain't been an accident there in the 70 years I
Yeah,
lived there.
perhaps, but you know, the border patrol, they travel pretty fast up there.
But you're in the dark most of the time there, you'd see headlights. The
We-
thing,
we were
I
in
think
our
the
right of
wings
way.
are one of the best things that
Stuff
the
happens.
town has got in the wintertime.
And a lot of times I pick the wing up when I go by there.
Well, I
And
think
then-
when the
and then I
ground
put
is
it back
soft,
down.
if the ground is soft
That's-
before it gets
And the
frozen
first
up,
time you don't realize that until after it's too late, you know.
well,
We do
Like
that
Oxford.
all around town. We don't like it. We hate it.
Like
It's
Oxford.
awful hard to avoid
Like
because we're
Oxford,
rolling
I
our
didn't-
gravel out, and it's like you can't. We send a grader out to pull it back in sometimes.
We can't fix it, it's too late, once you're on that path, it's all done.
all right.
Come spring, we'll evaluate.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do nothing right now, okay? January, gonna be 20 degrees below zero with a 40-mile-an-hour wind and 12 inches of snow. These boys have got work to do.
I can only hope. Rain goes no.
Anything else?
So that'll be evaluated.
Yep, both of them will be evaluated in the spring. We'll go from there.
I won't even bring mine up.
What do you got?
Well, you know, if you want to understand mine in front of my house, whoever's plowing Gage Road is very conservative because
Leaving a lot.
You got told
it's
this
4
way.
feet before the,
Yeah,
and I take care of it with my snow blower.
you
I
got,
push
you got told,
it. No,
He
it's-
heard a heated argument.
yeah.
Somebody defending him basically in our garage. So now he's scared because we had a
You
disgruntled.
heard all the turmoil and he just.
We had a disgruntled citizen complaining about being too close, and he heard how heated it got, and
and,
Scared?
and I understand that
a
he's
wimp.
new and he's learning.
He's doing good.
And I think this is what he was doing is a great way to learn. And as the experience comes, we can get closer
But I
and
think when he
closer.
goes in, he
And then, like you guys, he could hit the mailbox and then come back the other way. That's a joke.
Well, when he goes in, he picks it up, and then he goes in, and then we come back almost to the end, he puts it back down again. You leave it down, clean that corner when you go in, you know.
I have no problem with what he's
And I'm
doing.
explaining it to him.
That's- the snowblower takes care of it, and I'd love it. So it's
He
fine.
did the same thing on Strawberry Acres.
Right.
You know, I went over there yesterday, and I had talked with him.
He'll get more confidence.
Oh, yeah.
He will,
Yeah.
and that comes with experience.
Can I
So.
have another question? Do you have to use that wing when you go down through, seeing it's so narrow?
Where,
Can't you just wing the banks and just use your plow?
you know, switch it along, you know, we can, but you're gonna have a narrow road. You're
I
gonna
know
have
what you said, Mike, but you said, if you meet somebody in front of the pole, it's hard. But pick the wing up if you're gonna meet a trailer
They
there.
don't go up that fast.
it takes time, and we don't plow as often
I
as
know.
the state does, and like we generally plow once, we don't go back for a while, and then you'd have all these spots because everywhere as you meet, I measured it from the edge of my truck to the cutting edge on the bottom of the wing is 13 feet.
13 feet.
The travel lane out here, this road is 22 feet of asphalt. So you figure 11 from half to the edge. So we're talking 2 feet over.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you're ready to plow 2 feet over the yellow line.
In the top of that wing is another foot. There, that curl is a foot or close to it.
Yeah.
So there you're 3 feet
That's where it
over.
gets the
So
mailbox.
whenever we mailbox, and if there's a car coming in an inopportune spot where you can't slow down enough or they don't give you,
Would have been better with shorter wings? They make shorter wings.
I said that day.
I know.
I
you
measured our 9-foot wing and I measured our 10-foot wing, and they stick out the same amount.
said, really.
I had never measured them before, but I measured them. But if you look up the street here, we have not winged that side of the road from Jerry's to right over here across from the church. And people that walk, they're now out in the travel lane. They have very little room on that side because what the plow takes, if we ride close to the center, we're not even over the center, we're in our lane, we're still leaving that much snow with our plow of tar, which we like to keep cleaned off. That was the point of the wing.
Once it freezes, it's now an issue.
No, that's it. It just
If you
happened
plow it off, you
because of
don't
this
freeze.
year.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't freeze.
But in not plowing it off lets it make ice on the bottom, and then you can't scrape it good.
So
The ball field, I don't even know where on the ball field, and I hate that because we're gonna have a one-lane road up there eventually.
And
Just the plow will get that grass as we ground that street down. Just the plow gets the grass.
And in town, you want it as wide as possible. There's kids walking. There's Barry walks all the time, and people walk. You like, and
Well, we had a sidewalk.
Oh yeah, that's an issue.
Can the wings be pulled in any? There used to be some adjustments.
They're all the way
All the
in.
way back.
All right.
Yeah, they're all the way back.
And it's
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
You'll look that over for me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Anything else, Fred?
Yeah, which, well, good, okay, that's over.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk about the school. The principal called me tonight and wants us to plow the sidewalk down there. And I explained to her, she, oh, you can plow that with a big truck, you're gonna go right there and just plow it off. I said, I can't do that. Get shut off, whatever, whatnot. And
Thank you, guys.
That one
Thank
was
you. Bye, guys.
scary. It's still ticking up. And Luke was gonna come back, and I was gonna cut it off. He never got back to me, you know, it got cold in winter came. So it's kinda hard, you know, you can just go down there and plow that with a truck.
No.
Like Andrew Kuchar plowed the school sidewalk with his pickup. He gets right up on there. Well, he didn't get no shut offs, he got nothing, you know, it's, what are you gonna do, you know?
But
she
it's a
said-
lot wider sidewalk at school.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do that with a
She
pickup.
said, well, she said, and I said, I'd get back to her. She had a suggestion that if they could hire Kuchar to plow that sidewalk. And then they pay half and the town pay half. And I said, I'll run it through the select board. I said, that's far as I'm going with it. I said, I'm not pulling no string nowhere. But I can't see it. The shut-offs are all right in front of the houses, you know,
It's not our responsibility to plow that sidewalk anyway, is it?
No, and the thing,
'Cause
and
it's
I
on
don't
the
know,
highway.
the
she's
law
got 14 kids that walk to school every day down the
Right.
sidewalk.
It's just,
the law changed, but I know there is from the fog line to the curb, there's a space, and that's plowed. And then there's a sidewalk, and I understand that, but there's still a space there.
I told her they've been
I'm
doing it
not
for
saying that
years. It says, this year's no different than any other year, you know.
We basically need something either with a snow blower or a tractor with a small tractor with a plow or something to do it, because you can't just
you
do
can't just
that
go there
with a
and plow
bigger.
No.
right, and I know that, but
Yeah.
we don't have
We
the,
don't have that.
Huh?
Does Andrew Kutz
No.
have one of those?
No, he'd probably do it with a skid steer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not.
$65, $70 an hour to come over here, you pay a check, then you pay for that machine.
Of the 14 kids, they can't pick them up with a bus.
And if you
We pay good money for
if you
busing.
plow it, you're gonna have sand it.
The
Is it
bus
gonna
does
do it?
go
Oh,
around.
yeah,
Once
it
you
gets
sand it
icy.
or salt it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you just put sand it or salt it.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
you got to clean up in the spring.
It becomes
It don't end.
another liability.
It don't end.
I think at this point, I can't see. I'd like to see it done, yeah, but I don't think we can afford it.
it is a state highway, and it
that's
is
what
the
I told her.
state's responsibility.
I told her, I can't get out there with my big truck and go wing them sidewalks off, it's dangerous down there. You know, and we had a good conversation. I said, I'd bring it up to you guys.
The whole thing of it doing it with a truck or even with a grader, you're gonna have more damage than we've
Yeah.
got. Then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
gonna.
We'll be
You think
You've
you
fixing
got
it.
got to do
more?
it with a smaller.
You think you
vehicle.
got lawn up here, what do you think you're gonna do there? Drop that wing down on that sidewalk. You
Yeah.
got no control of it.
The thing to do it with would be the grader, because you can go slower and
Yeah.
push it back. But you're gonna make some damage. You're gonna do damage.
Oh,
You can, no how. You mean the curb goes up and down.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
Exactly.
Well, and then
you've
there's
got
a
to
curb
have
stop there,
something
too.
that's on the sidewalk that's gonna take care of it.
Isn't that the state?
No.
That's been an issue for the last 10 years.
That's-
anything in the
That's
state.
an issue that we've had.
For a long
When I
time.
worked for the state, we used to sweep it, take the sand up, do everything. Since I got done, or actually before I got done, they stopped doing it. And I had a discussion with Richard Tatro here one night about it, and he said, the state doesn't do that anymore. They do not do that anymore. It's not there. They put it in when they built the road, but it's the town's. And we've gone back. I mean, I've sent letters to Montpelier. Denise has helped me, and we got nowhere. Nowhere.
So what do you
And I
want
can't
to
find
put the
anything in
limits
plans
relative
that
to
says whose it is.
We discussed the clearing of the sidewalks, and we don't have an answer.
At this point.
Equipment needs to be purchased. We can talk about that when we put in the budget together, whether we buy a snow blower or whether we
But if we
buy.
don't do that, we're gonna develop more sidewalks.
Or if the school wants a snow blower and snow blow it, they're more than welcome to do it.
That's right. They need to understand though that once they clean it, they need to salt it
They
and
need to
sand
salt
it,
it,
so there's
sand it,
not a
yes.
liability of people slipping and falling and breaking
More
it.
liability.
And then clean it in the spring.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not a simple issue, and we don't have the equipment to deal with it.
No.
And it's just so short of a section.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that little
Well, you
section
do one
there,
side, then they're
money.
gonna want the other side done. It's just a matter of
Okay.
Yes.
one side or the other. It's good.
Excellent. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. And we've been batting around a speed limit sign, solar powered something or other down there.
Like you have going into Lowell.
You've
Your
seen them.
speed is
That'd be a good thing.
Yeah.
So
putting one up on each side.
next time you're talking to the principal, you can feel out to see if they would be receptive to helping with the cost.
We will put it on it.
It'll be one on
Each
both
end of
ends
town. Each end of town.
coming into town.
I could do it.
You know,
We
one
have
of
a
those that
35 mile
blinks.
speed limit.
Yeah, I know what
But-
you're doing now.
But we would rather have you talk to Shane Moran first and see if the state would jump in.
I can do
We
that.
got the school,
I
we
did
got
ask
the
him.
post
I
office.
called Shane on that.
You did?
If they would be willing
Give
to.
you an answer?
Huh?
Did he give you an answer?
He said that in Lowell, they did it because it was a high accident area. That's the only reason that they did it there. And there has not been a lot of accidents on this road.
I can't see where there was a high accident rate,
On 58.
Right on that. you know?
A lot of speeding tickets were issued there.
Yeah, right to
My
Lowell.
wife got
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
My father got one.
Yeah.
Really? Through Lowell? Yeah.
I got one.
Did Clark's man come to see you today?
I mean,
Did Clark see you
did.
today?
he did.
He didn't
I
want to come
see him.
tonight?
Well, you talked to Jerry.
I
and-
saw him at
Well,
the
that's
pizza
all.
place in Orleans today, and he was sitting there. And when I got ready to leave, I went over and I says, "You coming to our meeting tonight?" And he looked. He says, "I thought you was familiar."
Well, he kept looking at you. He said, I know that guy. I know that guy. When you saw
I brought up the issue of the truck, and I says, "Well, I said you guys didn't fix it, but I think we did." But I said, "I can't tell you for sure. You need to go talk to Fred." But I says, "Our new guy found a loose wire, and since then, I don't think we've had a problem." But I said, "I'm not sure.
I
I need to talk to
Wait a
Fred."
minute, I put 2,400 miles on since that happened.
After we tighten
No
that
issues?
wire up, everything
No
seems to be good.
We fixed the problem?
Yeah.
Well, like I told the Clark's man, it may be just coincidence too.
Yeah, it may be.
We fixed the wire
We
problem,
fixed that
but
wire. where
we
didn't
just
have power.
maybe they got that issue fixed
Right.
too, or maybe it was the same. We don't know.
Okay.
Knock on wood and hope it's fixed. That's all
I
we
know
can
engine
do.
light was on and whatever was on. We had no power in there. You know, it wouldn't start, wouldn't do nothing. So I sent Dan on there, followed them wires, and then followed them back and got a nut loose.
So that's
There's a little
what I
junction
told him
box
today. I
there.
said, "You need to go talk to them guys."
I couldn't screw it on my fingers. So we tightened that up and we had power. Well, you just touched the box when he came out on the other side underneath the back of the door, and then the power came on. So we pulled that cover off, and so nothing was right there. So then the next day, the engine light was still on. But the next day, after sitting all night, it must have reprogrammed itself. And I haven't had an issue yet. So
Did you relay this information to Clark?
they did.
And what was their response?
Oh, maybe you're gonna fix. We're gonna start checking all the trucks like that.
He claimed today he didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I know Fred talked to somebody down there." He says, "Well, they didn't tell me." And I says, "Well, then you need to go talk to him."
He's the one I
Because
talked
he
to.
wanted to know.
He's the one I talked to.
He told me he didn't know anything
He's the
about
one
it.
I called him just time that day, and I get
Yeah.
this call on it, and I wasn't getting nowhere.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
I still got something on
I
my.
thought it was dope.
I know. I'm not gonna-
So open it.
we ain't gonna smoke it, Barry.
Go open the bag.
We're,
Don't open the bag, no.
we need to go back to the highway before we move into water and sewer. We need to make a motion that we, how do you want this to?
Because of our audit, we purchased the grader this year. And you
Okay.
guys had expressed an interest on taking some of the highway surplus money, paying for the grader with that.
Okay, so the motion should read that we take the cost of the, 50% of the cost of the grader out of the highway fund and 50% out of the equipment fund.
Okay,
Is that okay?
sure, yeah.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Discussion relative to the motion. You guys understand
Yeah.
what we're doing? Okay. All those no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Motion carries.
Mhm.
The grader's already been paid for. It's just we need to split the money out of the funds so that when it goes through the auditor, that they could see where that came from.
Who seconded that motion?
Rick seconded it, Jerry made it.
That was in the pipe.
That was what come through the pump that day.
No, they said, Ray, I was talking with him, and he said that's what broke the old pump. They cut the propeller off. He said it had to be already in the pipe on the other side of the pump. So when we started up, it just couldn't push no water.
So that went through
The old pump.
The old pump.
the old pump.
And this here was stuck. You can see it. It's
What went through the new one? Because you guys said when you
Well,
started.
Ray
It was
said that
probably
was,
just the water.
Ray said
That's it.
that was because they couldn't push it out.
Oh, it was probably
It
like
deadheaded in
an
the
air bubble or something.
Did it? They couldn't go. They couldn't push it.
Okay.
So it forced
What
it,
is that called,
forcing
the
it.
sewer?
And once
Pump
that came
station.
out,
yeah. Bridges
Once we
pumps.
took it out, we turned the pump back on. It went good. Had no more problems.
and there's no way that that can go from our sewer line down to the pump.
Nope. I'd like to show you that sometime. Because it's a 2.5-inch line, and it's about 4 feet above where it goes into the manhole up above there. You know, and then the water don't come up that way. And it can go up to, with a pump pushing it, it can't come down to.
So I didn't know if the pump wasn't on, that,
There's no way water can get in it.
There's like an air gap. This pipe from Bridges is up here, and our sewer line's down here, and it drops down
yeah,
to it.
Yeah.
But he
I thought
claimed,
the two were.
he claimed that night that during the rush hour in the evening, that water comes up that high.
He's looking at the wrong manhole. Oh, yeah, his sewer does.
That's what he's saying, is it his sewer comes up high?
Because there ain't no way the other sewer can get into his.
What size is the pipe from our manhole back to the pump?
2.5, he said.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no way that would get in.
No, he can't.
That can't flow back in there.
And he couldn't be looking in our manhole anyway.
He could be
The only
looking on the
hole
one
he's
on the
ever
sewer.
looked in is
on
his
the
pump
Austin
station.
Street.
Okay.
You open
And
that up,
that's
you
just
have to get a
his
gutter under
water.
too.
Right,
And
We told
it's
him to
done
stay
in
out of
here,
that
it's just
now,
a
right?
pump,
right.
and it pumps it up.
So when the water comes up in his, it's because of his flushing the
It's
toilet.
nobody else's water. It's
Right.
just his.
And I was down there, we had a problem over the weekend. I don't know if you see your cat called or whatever.
I see there was his name was on my,
Yeah,
I
he
didn't call
called
him, I
up.
didn't leave a message, so I didn't call. I was
He
gone.
said he tried everybody and finally called me and when he called that and he said his sewer was backed up. So I go down and I get Tony to go down and there was a bad flow. You know, and Tony toggled it up so we could get through. Now we're down there yesterday, after he came put new flow. And also put a spare in it, so if they have a problem, we can use the spare. And we called out, I said to him, because he told me before that the water lasted 3 days. You know, it didn't fill up for 3 days, which I understand everybody's running water right now, and I'm glad they are because we'd be going to frozen pipes. But I said, you use a lot of water, Scott? What the hell difference does that make? Well, I said, just asking. But overnight it filled right up. That's a gallon tank. So I'm saying that people using water, but he was very rude. He went back in the hell. I said, just
So is
asking.
he
went
on
back.
our water system too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
The water's been doing very
It
well.
sure
Yeah,
is.
yeah. We're doing all right.
So I have
Been doing
5
very well.
different divisions that I actually oversee.
People are.
But he spoke to me like that.
You can't blame them for that.
all we gotta do is just have a break or something
Oh yeah.
and
If we don't want that.
back up in a hurry.
Yeah.
But actually, right now, they're all doing a favor by running the water a little bit. I would say, you know, just.
Oh, I think people are running water because they've been saying it on TV.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
with this
They-
cold weather, I bet people are trickling water.
I don't blame them.
No doubt.
No,
No
you
doubt.
can't blame people for that.
No.
Okay.
Well, you know, at the same time, they should be fixing it so that they don't have to run water.
Well, I know, but you hear it on TV.
I don't have to run water at my
I
house.
understand that, Rick, but you hear people and.
There's no remedy.
That was.
Yeah, oh, I know,
years
yeah,
ago,
oh, yeah, yeah.
They said it on the news.
Yeah.
This cold weather, you
I
should
heard
run your water. so
I
don't-
heard it.
And
Yeah.
people are doing it.
Ernest,
This is why I've been pushing meters. We need to know where the water's going.
It's in the process.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
It's in the process.
We'll get there.
they've been funded.
It's
They've been
It's
funded.
coming.
Put them in.
Not until we.
Put them in right off.
Not till they get that money.
Keep that thought.
Yeah,
We need to
It's on
know
it,
where
it's on
the,
hold.
because
yeah.
It's coming.
I told you what happened here on Church Street. I told you guys.
Keep that thought.
We had two apartments that we were running a lot of water. and it was in the floats. And I've been averaging at the Church Street here, we've been averaging about 70 gallons a day. We've been averaging 65 gallons on Crossroad, and 9 unit, we've been averaging 100 gallons a day. And so that's less than half the water that I'm paying. Right now, you're billing me for 160 gallons. That's what you're pumping, 160 gallons. So where is that water going? We have to figure out where that water's going. I've got meters in Newport. In Newport, I had meters, and I got meters in North Shore, and we're very careful where the water's going. These people who turn their faucet on, let water run, they should be paying for it, not me.
I agree with it.
I'm not
Not
in
me.
disagreement.
But we can't
Right
go
now,
to,
we are.
we can't go to every house and see who's running water, who ain't.
Ernest,
But if you have meters, you know.
have you heard any negative responses back from us?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'd help his
I'm
You
time.
know when
giving
that's
you my
going out for
opinion.
bid?
It's in the process.
I'll be fine.
You know when they're
Well,
gonna
it's in
do
the
the
process,
bidding
but
on
he
the
said
plumbing?
2 years.
You-
After the meters are in, then we're gonna start
Ernest.
building. I'm not gonna wait that long. I'm
Ernest.
telling you right off. Once you get the meters on, you better start building for water. Whoever uses the water.
End it.
Well, I'm
Thank-
telling you right off,
Thank you.
because I'm sick of this. I'm sick
Ernest.
of paying for water that I'm not using.
Thank you. You brought that up a number of times.
Okay,
We
and I'm
agree
gonna
with
keep
you.
bringing it up.
We funded meters. We've got it in a plan. Everything is in the works.
Yeah, you mentioned 2 years.
Relax.
I'm not gonna wait 2 years.
I don't care. Sue me.
Okay, well, I had before. We have before.
Yes, you
And
have.
we won.
No.
We won.
No, let's move on. Mike, what do you got?
I just asked
The
Steve.
question was asked is on putting the meters in, when will that take place? And I wanted to answer that. As soon as the water system is hooked up, then that part of it, the engineers are going to put a request for proposal or request for a bid proposal.
So it's
Right.
It's the process and the whole thing, and it has to go
yeah.
in.
I didn't know if there was
Yes.
already something.
It's in the works.
Yeah,
It is.
it's in the works.
Follow the process.
Gotta get water first.
What
We got
else?
water. We just gotta get it.
Yes,
Coming
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
They're up there 2/3 the way.
What do you want to do on Bridge?
It's your call.
Don't get rid of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I think
no,
they
no.
need to
You
keep
want to
that.
have him come back in and we'll have it?
Megan-
I thought he was gonna be here tonight.
I did
Yeah.
too.
I thought
Yeah.
that was.
Megan looked for that for 3 hours. She went through all the garbage and whatever. She took out the truck and like I told you guys, he just throws stuff out, and throws it out.
I think we
been
proceeded with
having
what we
a-
were doing.
But I have they finding that for me. She brought it over enough,
Okay. Let's, for next month, put him on the agenda, Rich, and we'll come after, we'll discuss. it.
Can you
Well,
mention?
yeah,
We had sent him a bill, right?
Yeah, and I told him at the last meeting, the bill stands until
Right.
we discuss this.
But he accused me of leaving something in the hole, which I never been in. He was, to me, he was bad there last time, And like he said, it was a janitor's mop. That's not a very big mop, If it is a mop, I didn't paw it all around to find out what it is, but
Could be part of it.
Yeah, it could be part of
it
it.
could be part of it.
Well, when we pulled it out, it wasn't white. It was
It
disgusting.
was black. But
It
this
got
was,
rain washed. The only reason it's
this was
clean.
in the bucket, all the rain we had. After
Right, but
that.
if you think about, if even the whole mop could have got in there and the pump
Oh,
could
yeah.
have just
Chewed it up.
chewed off as it was going along, sending it away, chewing it, and finally when it got so it could get a nice chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And,
And that-
it,
that
and it
was
just
the end of
couldn't
the
go no
pump.
further.
Dropped his bow on.
Right.
And that's what happened to the old pump. It cut the shaft right off.
Ooh. So it had some torque on it.
That's a torque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Ray Fields, he was over to help you at night. It was already gotten through the old pump, and it was on the other side. Then it came to a head, you couldn't push it.
Okay.
So are you gonna be able to see him to ask him to come to the next meeting?
Well, I ain't want nothing to do with him.
No? Okay.
Send him a letter.
He's not very
He's not very polite to me.
polite.
No.
Rather short and rude.
The man
We'll,
sits
we'll
there-
invite him.
Yeah, we'll invite him.
We'll invite him.
Man that sits there and accuses you this and that, whatever. I don't
Paul
like
said you
people.
want me
I
to
don't
send him a
accuse him.
registered letter?
What?
A registered letter?
You want?
I don't know if it needs to be registered.
Okay.
He gets
No,
mail every
he'll-
day, don't he?
Just send him a regular.
Yeah, just send him a
If he
regular letter.
doesn't show, then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
He'll either come see me or he'll call up or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only go down there when I have to.
No.
You got the no trespass signs up.
No, but he didn't go near it.
We gotta get them up though.
I know I do.
Okay.
Every time I go there, but
Write it on the door.
we're gonna put a new box there next year.
Okay.
Need a better box.
Well, he was told at the meeting though.
But it was really,
We don't want him playing with the
And he did it.
controls. Okay.
Need no tracks or nothing there. Yeah, he was told he was gonna get arrested, so.
Yep.
You ought to be smart enough to stay out of there.
Are we going to discuss the water? Is there a possibility that some information would go out with the bills? I see the water bill is going to go out again real quick there. Is there a possibility you could tell us, tell everybody what's going on, you know, how much work we've done and because.
Becky, the chair of the water board, was going to schedule a meeting for that purpose.
Yeah, but she never did. And Becky's,
Have you contacted?
Yeah, I was.
Have you contacted her?
Yes, I've contacted
Keep
her.
that to her, you know where it is, put your hand on it.
That
It's
piece
not-
right there was stuck right up in the pipe.
she's
Yeah,
she's
you can
involved
see
in
where-
so
you can
many
see where it was.
projects.
I told her when she called the meeting that I would be more than glad to go down and you know, discuss everything with the board, and the board can put together the newsletter to go. That's what they've been charged to do, the water board. So that newsletter should come from that board.
When are you mailing it? When are you mailing yours out?
The last week in January, but we usually do a separate mailing for the newsletters because we found it was more effective than just sending it out with the bill.
That's, you know, I'm trying to save you town money here, so can we put the newsletter in?
Monday morning.
We can if the water board gets it done prior to bills going out.
Thursday morning.
Last week of the month, like they always do. The last week of January.
Where do you go in?
It depends if I have the newsletter or not.
Truck wash.
Well, I gotta get hold of it then. 'cause
And also
we need,
notice
we need,
one from
So you're
Vaughn.
going to
Truck
inform
wash.
us, if we have a
Same
meeting,
thing?
you're going to come.
Well,
and
one
tell us what
different.
we're-
I'm the one that sits at the engineers meeting and discusses, listens to what has been done, what's going to be done, the time frames, the timelines, and all of that.
Okay, I'll call.
I just haven't seen it.
See if we can't meet right off there.
Makes sense. I said, I know
I'll
that.
let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So when I went,
Because
the
I
bond was
think that it would
just
be good
before the
for
black
everybody
one.
that they're all aware of what's going
But
on.
this is new
I've had
stuff.
a lot of
Which
questions.
one? Supposed to be better?
I don't know.
Supposed to be
I
better?
don't want to get,
And
you know, I don't want
Yeah.
to say
Good.
things that
So-
are.
No, and there, people are welcome to come to the
They
meeting.
was that big one.
Yeah.
And then the next one,
You
was,
know,
Just a question.
the old two from a gallon.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
That's right.
No,
The
that's-
boy tried, they liked it.
He was leaving, so I had the question on truck wash, so we got it.
You got it, because
Yes.
But it's only a gallon
Yes.
from Bond?
No.
Good.
I get
The
it.
answer
So you're good with it,
suffice.
Yes.
Perfect.
We
Good
got a
with
lot
the
of
next
truck
one.
wash.
It'll last a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See another order of that for a while.
Okay. Just, we saw it, he had a question,
Yeah,
as long as it's
yeah,
been
just-
addressed and taken care of.
I'm sorry.
Moving on.
I'm sorry, but he was leaving, so.
No, I feel I got too much.
I don't even need to know as long as somebody on the board
Yes.
is happy, so.
You walk right in right beside the sink, you see it piled up there.
Oh, my pickup tomorrow. No.
Is there any unfinished or new business?
I don't have any.
I don't have it.
We've signed the orders, we've reviewed and approved the journal entries and the bank statement.
Should we formally ask the school so that they can maybe put it in their budget about these
Well,
signs?
what did you get from Shane on those signboards? Anything back from him that the state
No,
would
just, no, the state, to the best of his knowledge, is not going to do anything to help. They only helped in that one specific case, Lowell, that he knew because of the high accident. He was gonna look and see if there was any grants out there, and if there was, he was gonna let me know.
Well, I mean, if they come up with a grant at some point,
Yeah,
then it can be shared equally between us and the school.
oh, absolutely.
You know, I mean, I don't see any.
All of these,
I'm gonna suggest that we ask Shane to do a study, have somebody from out there do a study, because it doesn't cost. That's what they're there for,
Okay.
at least it never was. To do a study, because we have the school, we have, the intersection down here. We have two intersections with the underpass.
Yeah.
We have the stores, the post office, whatever, that's close proximity to all of it. In between that, that it would be nice if those 35-mile-an-hour signs were up. And then from that point, if we hear anything before then, when we do the budget, we could always, ask the voters at that point if they were interested in it. I don't know.
Well, we'd have to put it in the budget, in the highway budget.
Right, but at least we can ask
Yeah.
Shane if there's, probably
We
we'd never
can
get a
put that in
study.
our budget for town meeting and have that
But
discussion
we're
at
looking
10.
at close to $15,000 for the ones I got. It's like 5,000 for the ones Rick's. But
Well,
still,
I'm looking at $4,010
that's for
for two of them.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's a lot.
It is.
For a sign. Wow.
No. These are electronic signs that tells you
Yeah,
their
they're
speed.
solar.
I understand that, but it's still a sign.
I
know
understand.
it's solar powered.
It's solar.
powered,
It's
but
solar powered. We shouldn't have to bother with it.
That's a lot of money.
It's the one
But
like
I
going
know,
into
but
Lowell.
it slows a lot of cars down.
Boy, yeah, Lowell's
You
a
need it
big
on
difference.
Vance Hill Road.
Yeah.
I've talked to people up the hill.
Oh, yeah.
I see them screeching out to start
Oh,
at
yeah.
25 miles an hour. They say, yeah, up at the top of the hill where you are, they're already going 80.
And the state police and sheriffs have been up there.
They've been up there?
Oh, heck yeah.
I've called them a few times. Said, hey, come down here and get a few tickets. Slow these idiots
That's why I
down.
say if we had those, it would be nice.
Yeah.
I would.
Can't put it in the winter.
What's that?
Can't put them up in the winter.
Oh yeah.
We're still going by.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lowell has theirs working year round.
I don't go down that way much. So.
Well, I do. And they do. They have them working year round.
Oh, you wouldn't think it would.
Yeah,
Oh,
we know
gotcha.
when the weather gets bad, you
Yeah.
don't leave town. We've got
My only question, would it be more effective to have it, make people slow down to 25 when the school's letting in and out?
Well,
That'd be that's the only thing I got in my head.
Right.
we
But
can't. We
have-
can't.
because it's state highway.
Correct.
I understand that. But
State would have to
Gotta be
change.
the
Yeah,
rules.
the Coventry does.
But
they
that's,
don't. They just got a blinking sign.
they got a sign that says recommended.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Recommended speed is, and if you want to do it, that's
And the
fine and
school-
good.
and
They
the
cannot enforce that speed.
The school
Right,
put
and
that up.
from what I understand, if it's a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, if the sign is blinking 25 for a school, and you're going 36, they're gonna nail you
Yeah.
hard. Is that correct?
They can give you a ticket for that 1 mile an hour over the speed limit.
No,
But I think we need to do
leeway.
it. It won't hurt.
Oh,
Hey, ask them to do
Right.
it because they do.
Yeah.
That's what
I've done it.
they're there for.
oh, that's good.
It's what we
1
pay
mile
some
an
of
hour.
those guys to do.
No, it was 3.
Yeah, they
But
could
speed
have a
limit in
lot of
Newport was
them out
25.
there.
Usually 1 mile, they don't say nothing, but 2, 3, 3, 4, then they.
Well, in Newport, it flashes 15 mile an hour going by the school.
Yeah.
And when people would not slow down to at least the 25, they're still going through at 28, 30. We'd stop them, write them tickets.
Get them.
Okay, so,
It's called a win-win. They get the speed, we get a profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Revenue.
should we ask the school, or is
We're
it
gonna
not?
ask the state first
We'll
to do a study.
Okay.
get a study done to see if it makes sense. And if it does, then we can talk.
Denise, I think, is gonna ask Shane to see about a study, or you want
I
Greg
made-
to ask?
I made a note of it. but you-
Oh, yeah, no, you
Go
asked
ahead,
him.
ask him. See
Yeah.
if he can have the state come in and do a study, if you would,
And
Fred.
then ask,
I mean, it's 6 to 1, half dozen the
I'm
other.
gonna go
You
see her
can
right
share
now.
with the principal that we had the discussion on the sign.
In the end, it does, yeah.
And that you are going to contact the state to do a study down there, see if there's any grants, and would they be receptive to sharing the cost of putting that sign in.
Yeah.
It's all the same tax dollar, but.
Yes.
it'd be no worse than us paying for a snowblower. You know, or-
Right.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And there she said she was gonna try to get to the board, the promise I
Well, the thing of it is, if we buy a rig, then we gotta hire somebody to run it. Who's gonna do it? Because they're gonna want it done before school starts. You know, it's gotta be done, so.
And
But it ain't gonna get ended, once you start.
And I think if we looked into North Troy does theirs, and I think it's a big cost for
Well, you got Mike Head on, man, Mike,
them. You know, I think it's a big cost for them.
I would
Costs
imagine
a
it
lot
would
of
be.
money. So,
Thank you, Fred.
Thanks.
Get
See
some
you Monday. Hey,
sleep.
Fred, we gotta get together Monday or Tuesday and put our budget stuff together. 'cause we
All
have
right,
budget
go check the
meeting.
road.
Okay.
Get
This one's
some,
very good.
get some sleep.
Couple hours, you know. See you guys.
Okay, thanks.
Tell me that and then roll the truck. Executive session for anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Can I say one more thing? 1 minute. I'm gonna, the discussion we had, there was a lot of ifs and ands and buts. I'd like to, I will, if I stated anything wrong, I'm gonna check out all the references to laws, what they said, and your confusion on when the law is applied. I'm gonna straighten all that out. I'm gonna get this tape and have the lawyer look at it. And if I said anything wrong, I'm gonna rectify it. You know what I mean? And if you didn't understand something, I'll bring it back next month, those specific questions, just to make a better thing.
I think for clarification purposes, I think you need to understand that we do not accept the bid from them.
But you do vote, I saw you last year, I got it on tape. You voted in his, and you made it, you didn't like it, and you objected at first. You came back a month later, and you voted it in unanimously for that contract. I got it on tape.
No, we voted to put it
On the warning,
agenda.
that's what I
Yes,
mean.
on
Yeah,
the
voted.
agenda.
I know you don't vote it in. That happens
Okay.
at the.
All right,
I'm
all right.
clear on that. I'm talking about
Well,
before.
that's our obligation to the town.
But that's what
Put
we
it on.
have to do.
I understand, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, you either have the option, if I'm not right, tell me, to have a petition, people sign, it's on the warning, or you can vote it in to go on the warning, correct?
We only put it on the warning.
Yeah, but you voted it, you vote to put it on the warning, to, not have to go through the signature.
petition.
Right. So it's either one or the other. So last year you voted it in and they got on the warning through a vote. That's what I have on
But there's a
on tape.
reason they're not on the petition.
Right, there's a
Right.
couple of different people
There's a
that
couple
are
of
not.
different ones that
The fire
don't have to
department-
have a petition.
the
The
fire
fire
department-
department.
Public service.
Public service
to
doesn't?
do with
We
Right.
do
public
not
service.
ask the fire department for
Okay.
a petition.
Right.
Many of
All
We
them.
do not ask no ambulance service
Okay,
for
right,
a
okay,
petition.
yeah. The library as well. I already checked this out. I didn't know public service too.
Right.
Mary,
don't have to-
to clarify something, when I first came on the board, and I think I told this before, Steve brought it up to me that we were not a petition town. So you could come up here and say to Denise, I want on the warning a fund for Barry Shagan.
Yeah,
And we had to put it on.
still?
We had to put it on
Not
because
now.
we
Not
were,
now.
not now.
What a
This was
shame.
way back. This was way back.
Just
Listen,
ruined my
Mary,
plans.
listen.
I was ready to write one.
So Steve said to me, we need to be a petition town. I said, I agree. At that time, it was just him and I. We were trying to get another board member. We voted it in that night, petition town, and we stuck them out there. We thought we were gonna weed out a lot of them. It didn't happen.
Boy, did.
They still brought, they
We
did
used to
some.
get Brattleboro
And
would-
Burlington Fire Department,
would send us a thing to put on a warning so they'd get a couple $100.
yeah.
I mean,
That
just
was on our-
stuff was flying out
our
of the
agenda.
woodwork, so.
So we voted to have petition, but certain public service things like the ambulance and
Yeah.
That's
we
just
did because
common
that's a
sense.
normal.
Okay, you just put it on. I understand. Yeah,
Yes.
I checked that out. I didn't realize public service was included along with the library and others exempt from.
Hopefully that clarifies it a
Yeah,
little more.
that issue, but some of the things he said, I'm not too,
Now, maybe I can clarify for you. That is their business and they have a contract that they have put forward. We worked last year or the year before on getting the language adjusted to fit this town. And that happened. And that's why I said, is the language in your contract the same? He said, yes, it is. Just
okay,
the
there you
amount
go. Right, I
and
get
the
it
date.
now, yeah.
That's it.
Because we do
Right.
not
But the price
agree to
changed.
anything
The price
until after
changed.
town
Right,
meeting.
the price change. Now, it's like you hiring someone to put a roof on your house and he provides you with a contract and it says $23,000, whatever. You don't say, well, gee, I don't think, I think you ought to lower that to 15.
I don't?
No,
Of course I do.
no, he's gonna come back to you and say, my contract is for this. And if you don't want that, find somebody else.
Just don't hire me.
Get lost.
Right, and that's what it is here. They have provided us with the contract and the figure.
Right.
That's it. And we're doing some due diligence in that I have asked Ms. Siskoy, which is not the same type of ambulance
They're not
service,
full-time.
but they are giving us a price. Now, I also found out tonight that in discussing with them, and I wrote it down, Newport Ambulance, that these towns, or like Missisquoi, which is not full-time, if they have an ambulance, if we elect to have them first call, like what we did last year with Newport Ambulance, and their ambulance isn't there for us, or
Available.
they haven't been notified that it's out of town. And Newport Ambulance Service has to then come in and be the first responder for us. They're going to bill us $800 a call.
Yep.
That was said tonight. That was new language that I hadn't seen before, but they are not going to be picking up the pieces for all these
Other
towns.
part-time ambulance
services. So
For free.
when I'm putting something together for the voters, they need to know that there could be an additional $800 per call when they come.
On the flip
Yeah,
side
the
of
reason
that,
for that again, well, I'm
Only to their towns.
well,
not to
here,
us.
okay, listen here. On the flip side of that is that if Missisquoi has a call at J Peak and a guy up there with a broken leg, and they've got to truck them to Newport Hospital, and we get a call from Newport Center, and Missisquoi's our first responder. We get a call into Missisquoi that we need an ambulance here. I need an ambulance. They're on a call. Now that's different. Newport will come in under mutual aid.
Exactly.
They will come in now and take care of me under mutual aid.
okay.
If Missisquoi just did not have anybody available to run their ambulance, that's when Newport's going to come in and bill me $800.
$800.
It's not
A mutual aid call.
mutual aid call. They just didn't have anybody there.
Yeah, they had nobody available. Not until after they got out of
Now-
work at 5 o'clock.
Now that's what they're going to be specific for us. And if Missisquoi calls them to go there and they've got an ambulance and they can go, they're going to bill them $800.
So our costs will go up if we have Missisquoi.
If we have Missisquoi and Newport comes, it's going to be $800 per person. It's not going to be
Right.
for the town. It's going to be per person.
And last year we were subsidizing that. Thank you, Denise.
I still
Yeah,
think,
thank
I
you.
still think it's double dipping,
I got a
that
question
lead
to
load.
ask on this. Do we have a record of who these ambulance are bringing?
Of what?
Do we have some type of records of who this ambulance is bringing?
That's
Sure.
HIPAA. You can't.
So, I
they
mean,
won't.
it's
They
getting to
will
a
not
point-
give
it's
you
getting
names.
to- I'm-
Ernest, they will not give you names,
No.
but they will give you the number of calls,
Correct.
the response time,
And where?
and where.
My question to you is
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
are we,
Hang on.
are we paying all these ambulance calls here? I mean, it's unbelievable that people call for ambulance.
Well, let's get the records. According to their contract, they will give us any records
It's in
we
your
wish.
town report.
Yes.
It's in your
Okay,
town
so
report.
let's get those records. I have to get it from you, you have to request it.
What's that?
I want to get some records from these people, but I have to get it from you. You are in charge of the Public Records Act,
It's
even
in
if
the
it's a
town
third party.
report.
Last
in the
year's
town
in the town
report.
report.
Well, no, he wants some specific documents. Let's get them. We'll get these documents. What do you want?
Basically, I'd like to know who we're bringing
You got to meet
to
them.
Newport.
You'll
They can't
never
give you-
be able to
They
know
can't give you the
who.
names or.
They're not
They
going to
won't
tell
give you a
you
name.
who. There's a HIPAA.
That's right. They can't.
The hospital
furnish that.
can't tell you who they're taking
In other
care of.
words, if I want to, if I don't have no way to get to a doctor or go to the hospital, I can call the ambulance.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Call 911. They take care of it.
And they're going, and the town pays for it.
No,
So-
the town does
Well,
not pay
well,
for
You
it.
pay for it because it's 56, you pay a bill.
We pay for having the service.
We
Right,
are-
you pay for having the
correct.
service. So my question is, somehow we need to have a system where if you're going to call, it's better be emergency. If it's not an emergency,
Oh,
No,
good
you
luck
can't.
with that.
Montpelier is back in session.
Yeah, yeah,
You need to go down there and talk to them about that.
yeah.
you guys, and
No,
they're
no,
gonna
no,
listen.
no,
they're gonna
correction.
listen
We
to
can
that.
ask
They're gonna
Denise to get public records. She has to, she's obligated by law to go, even though it's a third party, and get those records for us.
They
We
won't
want
give
to-
you
won't
names.
give you
so
names.
Gary.
Okay, well, okay, here's what I
You
want.
can't get names.
Oh, no, they said they'll give
They
you more than
can't.
just names. It's right in here. It's in their
They
contract.
probably won't give names.
But you know what I wanna know?
If I get
they'll tell you
transported
the
by an
reason- the
ambulance, I'd be
reason
very
you
upset if they
The
gave you
reason
my
they
name.
can't.
It's
That's
No,
right.
no,
not
I don't want names. What I want is, I want to know how many people they serviced last year.
Now this is getting out of hand now.
How many people? They have that information?
Yes.
Oh, well, great. Let me see it.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Well, I don't know if it's getting out of hand, but.
It's getting out of
No, it's getting out of hand. It's we're trying to discuss something that is
Newport
not in our realm.
That isn't
They have the
even
amount
anything
of,
to do with us.
people won't count.
We have no control over them. None.
You have to have control over them.
No,
It's not my business.
private contract.
That's a private entity.
No, it's come through the town, and they were
It's that
They're
They
obligated.
came to us with a service,
Yeah.
and they said it will cost you this much if you go with us. That's it.
Well, we want records, and we can get records from them for the Public Records Act and their contract. Says they will give records, and if they refuse the records.
The contract is on file in here.
I know, but I want to know how many, this doesn't tell, Denise
It
told me,
says 102 people last year.
and what was the cost? And how much was billed on Medicare?
That's in their budget.
That's
You need to
not our
have
business.
that
Oh, yeah,
discussion.
it is our
Not on
business.
Medicare.
It is our business.
Not on
How much?
Medicare. All we pay is for the service.
No, you got it wrong.
This goes out.
I'll tell you what,
I
I think
cannot
you're
go
treading on
back
thin
to
ice.
them and ask them who they billed and
no,
how
not
much
who,
got
okay,
paid.
we got that. But I would like to know, how many people got billed on the shortages? How much how many people paid on top of having their taxes increase, and then they were charged, deductions. You know what I mean? That's what stinks. We're getting double charged. I don't like it. You give him $50,000, and then he sends you a bill too?
Well, he said if your Medicare or whatever had a deductible, then yes, they would bill you.
Well, I don't like it. Ludlow accepts.
Talk to your government not having a deductible.
No, it's not. That's not the point. It's
Yeah,
the
that is the
contract.
point.
I don't like the contract because I think the contract, if he's gonna grab $40,000 for us, don't ask us for any more money. That's what it's just a matter of, I don't like the contract. I don't.
Here's the flip side to that.
What?
We got $46,000 that they were asking for.
Yeah,
All right, they say it's going to cost $800 to $1,000 for every call.
okay,
We get 80 calls here in Newport Center.
okay,
Who
and
pays for the rest of that?
80 calls, but most
No,
people have
no.
insurance.
Who pays for the rest of that? Because it doubled the cost that we had to pay for. That 46,000 only covers 46 people. We had 80 calls. Who pays for the rest of that? They absorb it.
Good, they should.
You can't have it both ways.
But
I don't get that. I don't get that.
Okay, we're leaving.
When you spoke about Ludlow.
Yeah.
Okay, Ludlow probably funds their own ambulance. The town probably owns the ambulance.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yes.
Possibly, I got the impression.
I don't know, but that's just my guess. That's why they can run their thing different.
Yeah.
And if you go to Colchester and you've got St. Michael's College, they run an ambulance service out of there with the students
Yes.
and their people, and it costs nothing. That'll shut off by itself. And that's taken care of by, so we are in a different, needs to be a statewide addressing the issue.
I think we're all on the same thing. We would like to know, but there's certain things that you can't, that they won't let you.
Well, and that's what he
Well,
said.
they by
We're
law,
gonna start talking.
they have to give us anything.
And it only makes sense because
They have to.
they
have to.
are trying to run
They do.
a service, and
Yeah,
they've
they
got
have to
people
find
out here on the
records for it. If
wings
there's anything
that aren't
concerning
doing the same
this
thing.
town
Yeah.
is for the public records. We
And
can
you
ask.
probably could get that.
Hey, Barry.
We absolutely could.
Hey, thanks a lot, gentlemen.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta pack up here.
Yeah.
I got all this crap. Okay, let me close up here.